guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin. I hope that you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So today's video is going to be another, well, it is, not it's going to be, I guess it is another video in my partnership series with QC Makeup Academy. And today we are going to be talking about something that is very near and dear to my heart, because we are going to be talking about the 4-step smoky eye. In my opinion, this is like the quintessential, like this is, if you're only gonna learn how to do one eyeshadow look, this is the type of look that you should learn. So if that is something that you are interested in learning, then let's get right into it. Okay, hello, let's get started. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about the smoky eye, the art of the smoky eye, and also why it is important to have as a tool in your makeup artist portfolio. So I'm really excited about this video because personally the smoky eye is just my favorite makeup technique, like eye makeup technique to use. There's also a lot of different ways that you can interpret the smoky eye. There's a lot of different techniques just kind of within the umbrella of what's considered a smoky eye, I think. But my personal like go-to process and technique is what I like to call the 4-step smoky eye. I definitely didn't coin that term. I definitely have like heard that, the 4 or 5-step smoky eye, whatever you want to call it, it's just kind of a general term in the makeup world for the look that we're going to be doing today. So let's get started. So for today, I thought we'd break out a classic here. So this is an old favorite. This is my Soft Glam palette. I think that this is the perfect palette to break down the technique that we are going to talk about today. So I have already primed my eyes with a little bit of Urban Decay Primer Potion. You can use whatever primer you want. And then to set that, I am going to go in with the shade Tempera right here. And I do also want to preface this by saying, obviously, if you're working as a makeup artist and doing a smoky eye on a client, it might feel a little different practicing on somebody else or executing it on somebody else than it does doing it on yourself. So now we're gonna start with the 4 steps. So for me, the 4 steps refer to the 4 different shades and the 4 different placements that you're going to use the different eyeshadows on the eye. So for me, those 4 are your crease shade, your outer corner shade, your lid shade, and then your brow bone and inner corner highlight shade. So those are the 4 steps for me. So we are going to start off with our crease shade. So for me today, that is going to be this shade right here, which is called Burnt Orange. And I am taking that on a Morphe M518. So this is a nice fluffy brush, but it's not too fluffy, like it's not going to spread the product out too much on the eye. It's going to help us concentrate right in that crease without kind of getting it everywhere. So I've just got a little bit of that product on the brush. I am slightly raising my eyebrows again because I'm working on myself. If you were working on a client, it would be okay for you to kind of just lightly lift it up just to really get up under there, and that's just going to help you ensure that the blend is even. The last point I want to make here with the crease shade is I'm really focusing to keep it tight in the crease here. So you want to be careful when you're starting off a smoky eye not to do too much too quickly and go too far up or too far out. And depending on the client that you're working on, they might have, you know, a lot of brow bone space. Like me, I have deep set eyes. They might not. So you want to pay attention to how much crease space and how much eyelid space they have in general and kind of work with that. And then next, what I would do if I was working on a client is I would go in with the outer corner shade. So for this, we're going to take Cypress Umber. So I'm going to take that on a really small little blending brush. This one is one that I have from one of my sets from BH Cosmetics. If I were doing this on a client, I would definitely pull out my Morphe M506 just because I definitely prefer that brush for this step. I don't recommend this brush for clients. I would more so recommend the Morphe M506 or a similar brush for this step. Anyway, so I'm gonna start on the outer corner here, and I am going to try to focus on going on a diagonal. So kind of from the inner half of my lid almost, like I'm kind of starting right on the outside of my iris, and I wanna go on a diagonal up towards the crease. And again, starting small and building up here, so I'm really not putting a lot on my brush. I'm focusing on just packing it on and blending it out, and then building it up as we go. So once I've kind of got that in the corner, I'll start to invite it up into the crease as well. Okay, so now that I've laid down the crease and the outer corner initially, now is when I will spend some time and just kind of go in, blow it out a little bit more, intensify it a little bit more, and just focus on blending it a little bit more. So I'm going back in with that M518 and I'm taking burnt orange again. And again, just a little tiny bit of it. And I'm gonna start to blend that up just a little bit more to make it a little bit more dramatic. I feel like once you have it mapped out, you can see where you need to kind of blend it out and smoke it out more. But if you do that all at once and it's too much at the beginning, again, it's just harder to correct. And then going back in with our smaller blending brush, and we're gonna intensify Cypress Umber just a little bit more. I also am trying to use some really light pressure on the brush. Again, I have to focus on this really a lot because I'm naturally heavy-handed. I'm gonna say this a million times throughout the video, it's all about the smokiness, and therefore it's all about the way that you blend. So just when you're practicing this and kind of getting like the technique down, take your time. You wanna make sure there's no harsh lines. You've heard me say it a million times before if you watch my other videos. Okay, next I am going to take this shade right here. So this is called Bronze, and this is gonna be our lid shade. So I'm just taking it on my finger, and honestly, I would totally apply it with my finger on a client too. I just think for the most part, I prefer the way that shimmers apply. You can also obviously use like a flat eyeshadow brush, which I might do here in a second, just to build it up. But using your finger will also help you blend right here in between that deep smoky outer corner shade and your lid, so that it's not, again, so that it's not what? Hopefully you said it out loud in that pause. It's not a harsh line. No harsh lines here. Guys, I just realized I have been focusing so hard on explaining and doing this smoky eye that I did not even realize that I've only been doing one eye this entire time. What am I doing? I don't know. Okay, and I do want to intensify the lid just a smidge, so I am going to take a flat brush, I'm going to dip it into that shade Bronze, and then I'm going to wet it with a setting spray to intensify it. So I'm just going to use this NYX setting spray. Again, if you were working professionally, I don't have my kit here with me, so I don't have my Fix Plus, but I would definitely use Fix Plus for this. Just because some setting sprays, like, you never know, they could have oil or something in it that could cause the eyeshadow to break apart or whatever. You just never know. So I always like to err on the side of caution when I'm working on clients, because God forbid, like, you do somebody's makeup and then their eyeshadow breaks apart. Like, there are some things you should just go with the professional products for when you're working as a professional, you know? All right, you guys, so those are the first 3 steps so far. So we've done crease, outer corner, and the lid shade. Before we do the last step, which is the highlight shade, and then also, I guess the actual last step is smoking out the bottom, but that's easy once you have the top lid down. I'm gonna pop off camera, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back and finish up the eyes. So see you in a second. All right, you guys, we are back. I've got the rest of my makeup done. I popped some lashes on, and we are gonna go ahead and finish up this look. So we left off at step number 3 in the 4-step smoky eye, so we are now gonna finish off with the 4th step. So step number 4 is going to be to highlight the inner corner and the brow bone. So I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is called Glistening. And I'm just taking that on a flat eyeshadow brush. Something that's smaller, I think, works a little bit better just to get you in the inner corner here. And we are just gonna tap that on. Okay, so that's honestly not terribly intense, but that's okay. You get the point. And a nice little... I have a lot of brow bone space, so I don't hold back with my brow bone highlight. Okay, you guys, so those are the 4 steps for the 4-step smoky eye. So we are just gonna round it off with the bottom lid. So I guess technically it's 4 steps for the top lid. You get it. It's fine. It'll all be fine. So really quick, I'm gonna take a little bit of this Cypress Umber shade and I'm gonna use that to smoke out the lower lash line. I'm just gonna use this one color. We're gonna keep it really simple, and I'm just gonna use a light hand and use that same brush we were using before and blend it out. I personally like a smoky lower lash line, so I don't typically hold back for this step, but I am gonna try to keep it really simple and soft for the sake of this video. And then we can do a little mascara on the lower lash line. All right, give me a sec. I'm just gonna pop on a nude lip off of camera and I'll be right back. Okay, and here we are with the finished smoky eye. So the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is that we spent this video talking about the basics, just like those core 4 steps of a smoky eye. But I do just want to wrap up by mentioning that once you have that basic technique down, that's the core of it, but you can always then build on that. So if you wanted to add some darker, more dramatic colors, if you wanted to blend it out a little bit more, if you wanted to do something different on the lower lash line, if you wanted to use bright colors, all of those things are things that you can build upon once you have those core 4 steps for the smoky eye technique. So that's what's really helped me learn how to do this, and then also it's helped me kind of do different variations of looks. This definitely is like my most used technique. This is my favorite thing to do. I think it's the easiest, and I think it's something that everybody can achieve. I know that I talked a lot about working on clients and stuff like that as a makeup artist, but I also think that this is a technique that if you're just kind of like an everyday gal, an everyday woman, and you just want to know how to do your eyeshadow, how to blend it, what the steps are to make it look good so you can have your like go-to look when you're going out, when you're going on a date, when you're going like to the bar with your friends, whatever. I think that this technique and this type of look is something that's super achievable and super easy to learn. So that being said, I hope the information in this video was helpful. I know it was helpful for me to kind of go back to basics and practice my technique. I have a tendency to like really over blend and make things look a little bit too stretched out sometimes. So I'm really happy with the way that this look turned out. I think it's nice and like, you know, like tight. I like it a lot. So I think that is going to be it for this video. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so by hitting that subscribe button down below, and you can also hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I upload so you don't miss any videos. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am at DevDevGregs over there as well. And with that, I will catch you in my next video. Mwah. Love you. Bye.